No, so what they're saying, right? Just be clear for our audience, because I actually read that article. I didn't look at that. But this is what they said was.
Welcome, everybody, to the Jury's Out podcast. So, anyway, sorry. Welcome to the Jury's Out podcast, where we're off the record show where attorneys and friends discuss their unique perspectives on various social issues in a raw, uncut, no fucks given fashion. Right? Because after all, the jury's out. That's right. You already know. So you can't hold us accountable for anything that's said after this because jury's already out. So you know me, Jack, aka Splatterkiss, always in the building. Always also here with my partners in crime, Eugene and Ev.
What up? What up?
Yeah.
Don't kiss me. Yo.
To today's guests, we have Jarret Robertson, or a photographer and a videographer, and we also have Brigette Brantley, who is a activist, a school teacher as well, and a businesswoman, and among many other
so many
things.
titles, right?
Many hats.
What's up?
Many hats.
And so, so today we're gonna discuss, the protests because society is now under a different type of microscope, and we're starting to see, thanks to the internet and thanks to social media, we're starting to expose these underlying things in society, and people are speaking up. So, Brigette, how did you start your journey?
My journey. Honestly, if people have known me to always. Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
all right. Okay,
I
cool.
hear a little buzzing, but
I hear like a little.
I think we good now. We good now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so people.
All right.
Let's just say this. I am the granddaughter of a woman who survived in the Jim Crow South. So a lot of my influence in like the black experience came from my grandmother. This is a woman who was also in the same hall with when Malcolm X was assassinated. So my grandmother always drilled like we have to be out there. Shirley Chisholm was one of her best friends. Didn't even know that. Living in Brooklyn, and when she ran for president, like my grandmother was a part of her campaign team. So like it's always been drilled into me. The educated component comes from my other grandmother, who was a black educator in the 80s, so during the crack era. So being an activist was something I would say is genetic, right? It's in my genes. And people who know me, I'm always willing to step up and advocate and make sure people are held accountable. So if you're doing something in my community and I wake up and I'm going to my bus stop and there's like trash all in front of the bus stop, in front of the bus stop. And like even one day I saw like a 32-inch TV broken up sitting, and I'm like, this is supposed to be clean.
There's a system in place.
Yeah, like it's like there's things in place. So what's going on? So like for me, it's like, again, going back to what made me do this work. It was just like, it was a calling that I had to hear, and it was something that was inevitable anyway.
Right. So Jarret, what about you? What started you on this journey?
Well, I was always a street photographer in New York City, specifically for the Black Matter protest in New York. I was kind of grabbed by the horns. Just coming outside one day, I was aware of the whole George Floyd situation, but one day randomly I was taking a bike ride. I live pretty far from the actual hub of the city, so I think in the beginning, late May, I was unaware that they even had protests on the scale that they did. I think it was the end May 29th probably, and I was just on a bike ride going downtown randomly with one of my friends, and to my surprise, there was a whole line of like a ridiculous amount of police just lined up already, ready to combat a bunch of protesters that were just screaming for their freedom. George Floyd, they wanted to be heard. And ironically, when I saw them, my city bike was running out of like you have to recharge your city bike every 30 minutes.
Right.
So I was like, damn, let me put my city bike down, see what's going on. I didn't even have my camera because I didn't know what was happening. So I parked it. I saw what was happening. People, I think it was in front of Madison Square Garden at the time. They were lighting dumpsters on fire. Police were going back and forth with them. I lost who I was traveling with just because I had my camera. And I'm like, oh, let me take advantage of this. Let me try to take a couple photos.
So you're in like the thick of it right now.
So I was in the thick of it, unaware even of what was happening. I'm just like, oh, wow. Well, this is right after the pandemic, like literally my first time going to Midtown after months of being trapped in my apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, let's go downtown. Let's see.
See what's going on.
See what's
So
happening
then from that point on, what was it about that experience that you were like, yo, I gotta do this now?
So this is the point. This is the point that grabbed me and made me kind of
dedicate your life to this.
dedicate the rest of, I think it's been 2 years to, I guess, documenting the struggle between humanity and society and what we're all fighting for. In the first 15 minutes that I arrived there, I lost who I was traveling with, and I got a call from them saying, oh, I'm being surrounded by police. I might be getting arrested. And I was like, well, get the fuck away from the police. What are you doing? So I'm like, just go. So like, I can't. So I was like, all right. I thought like I knew what I was doing. I went over there. I was like, hey, like they're with me. We're not even with the protest. We're just passing by. Like just bring her over here. Everything's all right. The cops pointed at me, and they said, get him. And like 5 cops just grabbed me by my shoulders, threw me on the ground, handcuffed me. I was like, what the fuck? I'm just here. What is even going on? I don't know what's happening. I had no idea what was happening.
I don't even know what this is about.
I don't know what it was about.
I just got here, bro.
I just got here talking to my friend. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I'm on the ground. I'm seeing them arrest all these people around me. And I guess I spent the night locked up. Just from going by. For nothing.
And so from that point.
So I met a few people in there who were activists, and, they kind of broke down what was happening. And from that day, I kind of made myself just available to see the protest and the back and forth of what was happening.
And to document it.
So that was the day that kind of strapped me in.
Okay. Well, I've got to thank you for your work. It's very, very important, because history needs to be documented correctly, right? I'm sure that, Bree, you can agree with that as well.
Yes.
Because through your work, you definitely affect your community.
A lot.
And so do you feel that, well, please go into detail of what work you do and then kind of say how is that an experience? Do you see it growing? Do you see the fruit of your labor? Like are the seeds that you're planting growing and things like that? So what is it that you in detail? What is it?
I am a woman that benefited from a Boys and Girls Club, right? Ages 6 to 18 was what kept me from the streets, right? Like the streets is gonna always call you, but like I still had like a place to go. And I remember like that you would have toy drives, Christmas, I tap dance at the Pierre Hotel. I sung in Carnegie Hall at the age of 13. So as I got older, I started to realize like these programs were dying out. And now we see like this spike in gun violence, this spike in like these children that don't have no place to go. Whereas I was in the Boys and Girls Club. I got out of school at 2:30, walked to the Boys and Girls Club. I was there from 2:30 to 9 p.m. Homework was done, tutoring. I was between playing basketball, going to dance, doing youth empowerment, doing all of these things. It's like by the time I got home, I was legit tired because
I had to go out to the streets.
Right, because it was like what am I gonna do out there? Stand there? I'm gonna probably fall asleep. God forbid something happens to me.
Right.
And there was just the fire was dying out. So I said that once I went viral, first and foremost, I want to be clear, I did not expect to go viral.
Right.
Like I did not expect.
Can you describe that in a little bit? Like what do you mean?
Okay, so first and foremost, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. I was on a date.
Okay.
Right?
I love this story already.
Right. I was on a date and my partner at the time, shout out to my partner, even though whatever, but shout out to him, right? Because he's a part of this process, so we're going to give him his credit.
Right.
And he is a photographer as well. He has his own documentary that I co-produced with him called Conversations, The Black Radical Tradition. And we were just walking and he was taking pictures. He was like, let's go get lunch. I'm like, okay, cool. But then like now I'm seeing the crowd. I'm like, oh nah, we doing this.
Yeah.
And the reporter initially grabbed him and he did like a nah, her. It's the women that need to be to the front. And I'm just looking at him like, I ain't got my hair done, sweated out, eyelashes hanging on for dear life. I'm like, Lord have mercy, but
Gotta be ready.
yeah, but you know what? She stopped me and she asked me like, well, why are you marching and why are you here? And at the time, I was a social studies teacher. We had just finished talking about civil rights, Malcolm X, the Malcolm X documentary dropped or whatever the case may be. So my kids was interested and it's like, I can't be teaching a subject, right? And not be a part of it. You get what I'm saying? Because if I'm teaching my story, which I mean our story and our origin, not from a different perspective, but from my perspective of what we should be teaching our kids, I had to be there. And it was just like, and also I'm a mother of a black son in America. And that is scary as hell every single day. There is going to be a point where he goes from being cute to a predator,
Yes.
right? And he's
being a threat.
A threat, right? My son is 9 years old, sweetest kid ever. And so when she asked me all these questions, I guess I said what people wanted to be saying. Like she asked me about how I felt about the looting, and then I brought it back to Tulsa. I brought it back to Seneca. I'm like, you asking me like, well, what about these, mom and pop businesses? And I'm like, well, black owned for me is from the soil to the sky. Meaning my bank is black. The person, my accountant is black. Everything I do is within my black community. So I'm not going to like of a Bank of America or these big, banks that sometimes deny us because of us being people of color. So I'm just like, nah, like I'm going to say it and I apologize if I offended anybody. And I'm like, I cursed a little bit.
Yeah. You just being
And I was
yourself,
just,
man.
but it was like, it was transparent. Like, and I had to say it. And all of a sudden, me and my partner, we go home the next day, like my Twitter's going off. Like AOC started following me. Right. Shout out to the big homie AOC. Right. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Mind you, I haven't been on Twitter as long. I've been on Twitter since 2009, but I didn't really use it that much. And then all of a sudden, my followers started running up. I'm like, I was at 382. I wake up, it's like 20K. I'm like, whoa. I said, okay. Can I get that blue check? And I'm like sitting there holding on. I'm holding on. I'm like, yo, if I could get 6 months of these 20K, they're going to blue check me. Right. But then again, also I get it. Like my message sometimes can make people feel uncomfortable. So I'm down to a calm 14K, but that's cool. But the work that I'm doing is more so me like having these community events. And shout out to my friend Sade, who I drive crazy, but she understands me and understands my mission and my vision. And we collab together a lot where we did Juneteenth. We were a part of End the Gun Violence basketball tournament. We had Mayor de Blasio come out and shoot some hoops with the kids. We had an Easter egg with just all of these things, but also civic engagement is very important. And I want to make that very clear. That's what the People's Assembly is about. We need to make sure our kids know what their rights are. Our kids need to know that mommy doesn't always have to call 311 when the heat is off. You can call 311 on behalf of your mother because you are a child that is in a home with no heat. You are able to say, no, this is when your community board meetings are, on what day, and these are what time it start. You should be able to go to these community board meetings. You should be able to have an impact and to say whatever that's going on in your community. So again, going back to it, like it's just like I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we heard that line so many times. It's like, all right, I'm sick and tired of being tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired. So let me get the hell up off my ass and do something about it. It's not. I get it. Typing on social media, Black Lives Matter. Yes, it does. but what are you doing in your community? How are you making sure that that little boy that you see always knocking on the doors is because he doesn't have no outlet to do something? How are you connecting with him?
Right.
How are you checking in with these parents? You know what I'm saying? Who may not understand what Common Core curriculum is. Why are we not giving these resources to these parents to say, look, your child going to learn this Monday through Wednesday. We're having a in-person or a virtual demonstration of what your child is going to learn, and you could get a $25 gift card to Target. Incentivize it. You get what I'm saying? But it's true. You get what I'm saying? There are parents that are struggling. And I know for me, when my mom, when we had these events at the Boys and Girls Club, and it was like, oh, if you attend this, you can get a free this. Like, incentivize the community engagement. Right. Because people need to eat. Mm-hmm. Yes, you want people to show up, but they need to show up to something.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sorry. You know, I'm a teacher. I talk a lot, so my bad.
Yeah,
just dropping something. Yeah.
So Jarret.
Hello.
So Jarret, what is it that your work that just keeps you inspired, or like what impact do you see your work doing onto the community that you serve?
And just for the audience that don't know what we're talking about, can you explain a little bit what exactly your work is so they understand?
So I've just been documenting specifically the Black Lives Matter movement ever since George Floyd. I think it's been 2 years and change now. And in the beginning, it was just everyone was super excited. The community was coming together. Everyone was on the street. And I think it might have been the combination of just being in the pandemic and in the situation and seeing how America is treating the people, which made everyone so outraged. But protests, they came, they got larger and larger, then they started getting smaller and smaller.
Talk about that part.
And I think at the end of the day, it might be because knowledge was the key to spread to people so they have something to take home, and maybe that might have been what was missing. I don't know. There was a huge, I noticed a struggle between leaders and fighters. The leaders wanted to be leaders, the fighters wanted to be fighters, but you have to be a leader and a fighter at the same time.
You gotta know what the situation calls for too.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And I believe in protests. I think there's a good, if you have a message and a reason for doing what you're doing.
Organization.
You have to have a strong organization. So my purpose, I felt during that whole time, wasn't to be a forefront or a leader or anything. I was kind of like a fly on the wall, just capturing candid moments from what was happening, because every photographer has their own input and their own way to capture a story. But I kind of felt like what I was doing was a little bit different than what I saw, because I would just get from a far distance, I would get really close into people's faces with like a zoom lens. So I guess there's two kinds of ways to document these things that I saw. There were photographers who would go up around people, ask them for their photos. They would kind of take like portrait shots, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. I just found that I would found something more naturally and candid with just staying on the side and letting occurrences happen and just catching.
Raw dog.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
He the one that's keeping us safe, and like lo and behold, like, and not to cut you off, because I feel like I've seen you at a couple of protesters, and it's like, because one thing about the photographers, they gonna get that shot. Like I've seen photographers climb almost scaling up on the Manhattan Bridge just to get that image of us walking across, and I'm sitting there like, dear God, fuck the falling, but it's like, damn, like. You want to make sure that you want to get it's documented. Like even like that. I don't know if y'all remember like the square off between the protesters and the police, and it was on CNN. And I'm like, my mom is calling me like, you on CNN, girl? I'm like, girl, get off the phone. Like, I cannot speak to you right now. Now they're gonna know where I'm at. She's like, well, I'm proud of you. It hangs up. But it's like, and it's like, she didn't see me on camera, but she knew that. I share my location with every protest I go to. I always share my location because I have brothers and sisters who are paranoid, but they know that I'm doing it for the greater good. But like to get back to you, like taking those shots, like the woman that was that drove that car down Times Square during the ICE protest, and it was if it wasn't for the photographer taking the picture of her in that car, old girl would have got away.
Yeah, yo, but that's why the protest is happening now. Like, because everything is being documented. Like in 2021, there's cameras everywhere.
Hello,
you can see, like, literally, technology is, I won't say saving some black folks' lives, but it's creating the dialogue for justice. You know what I mean?
At
like,
this point,
we could at least prosecute these fucking people who kill us.
Yeah.
You know, before we just go to somewhere and be like, yo, this guy just shot my brother. Okay, where's your proof?
Because there's no benefit of the doubt for the black community. No
at
benefit
all.
of the doubt.
None, bro.
Show me.
Show me. The burden is on us.
Show me. And then I'm going to try to bury this footage. We'll see how
Right.
buried I
Or the
get.
fact that, or the fact that the footage comes out months later, like Breonna Taylor.
Right. Yeah.
How the fuck we finding out about this shit 2 months after old girl done passed away? Ahmaud Arbery. We didn't find out about this. Like it's how they, like Elijah McCain is a prime example. This Elijah McCain happened, right? And that happened like August of like 2019. We didn't find out until 2020.
Yep.
Like, what's wrong?
Yeah, that's how they treat investigations. They try to keep everything secret so that they don't mess up. You know, they don't want to taint the jury or whatever it is. But like, it's gotta be something better than what's going on. But like, back to the photography. Like, I think the best photographers are like the ones you don't even know that's there. You know what I mean? And like, so, you know, the thing that stuck to me is that you said that there are people there who want to take portraits. Why are you there, really? You know what I mean?
You know,
you there
like you're benefiting off of the clout,
right? Yeah,
and capturing what needs to be captured.
You there for the clout?
You know, I don't know. I kind of personally, I removed myself from the whole situation and thought of it more as a historic, whatever like people were doing at that time. It's never gonna happen again, and to manipulate it, I felt was kind of just the wrong way to handle it. So I just took what it was. You know, it was like everyone who was there. I think history. I don't think for that time is gonna repeat itself.
It better not, because I'm outside.
It might. I hope it doesn't.
Right.
People will be outside.
Right.
But I just felt that to not impede, at least with what was happening, might have been the best way to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. As an artist, I can see that, because you just want to capture the emotion. You know what I mean? You don't want to insert your bias.
Exactly.
Is that kind of what you're getting at?
And
like,
I felt like even like, let's say something's happening now, I come up to like, can I take your picture? It just gets the whole, everything just falls out of flow. Right. Just like let the photographers just stay on the side. Like don't, like the activists and the photographers, like let people play their own roles.
Right. Yeah, 100.
What the Rock said, know your role.
Shut your mouth.
Know your role.
How has the response been to what you captured?
I think it's been pretty positive, at least for what I'm doing, because it's like we have the mainstream media who is capturing only a select amount of things and interpreting it however the mainstream people behind the desk are forcing them to do it. And then there's independent photographers who are actually just showing the people what the people are doing, and it's kind of like an unfiltered reality. So I find that I'm not really, all I'm doing is showing reality. It's like it's like an unedited
you can't
reality.
spin that. Yeah, that's a picture, baby.
It's just what it is. This is the truth of what's happening in the streets right now.
Yeah, that's facts. Salute, bro. This
Thank
dope. That's dope.
Have there ever been moments where like you like, oh, I'm in a fucked up situation right now, like either gotten caught between groups of people, you know, or like, you know, like stuck in a crazy situation where it's like, yo, bro, I might like this, you know, something that scared you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been pepper sprayed a few times, maced just for trying to take photos. I think to be a successful photographer, you have to have one motto.
One good mace.
No, with some goggles, you know, there's ways to get around that. I don't think you need to get maced.
All right.
You're at home just mace training.
Get the milk, Mom.
You don't want to get maced. But I think the main rule, it's like the rule, at least that I carried with me, is just to say to yourself, I don't give a fuck.
At this rate.
You gotta do it. People are gonna think what they think. You're gonna think. You just have to not.
Don't forget the milk, man. Oh my God.
I think the whole milk in your eyes when you get maced. I don't think you should do that. It's like this is probably.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
You just smell like milk for the rest of the day.
I mean, you're right. Like, but listen. I would say this was my first. You know how like you. I don't know how to explain it, but you know how you get that feeling in your heart and it like drops to your like stomach, like, and it was like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing out here? Like, I've had those moments at the protest, like when the police get a little close, and it's like, or even when I went down to counter protest in D.C. at the Trump rally, and they surrounded me. I said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to slap the shit out of a Proud Boy. Yeah. Please come the fuck on, and it's like I feel my ancestors like, yeah, girl, get it. But then it's like your other ancestors like, now, girl.
No. You know the system that protects you after you do
now
some shit
you
like
know
that.
if you heard him, he gonna whoop that ass. But it's like, banana, I got to. So it's like, I've used milk because it's what I've seen. I never thought I would be amazed. Like milk, the subject. Like I'm just saying, like you said milk doesn't work, and I'm like, you're right, it don't. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is gonna work? My eyes is burning, god damn it! Like, and it's still from the cause. Like, I'll do this shit blind, but god damn, please, like we need to figure out like.
You gotta make
a sauce.
Yeah, something like that.
Like a protest juice, like
protest juice.
Like are you going to your next protest? Are you worried that you may be maced? Well, we got the solution for that.
Protest juice.
Are you sick and tired of the police killing your fucking
Only
people?
2 payments at $9.99.
Okay.
Plus tax.
Okay, plus tax, shipping and handling.
Shipping not included.
Shipping not included.
And you get the bundle. It comes with a
Okay,
bag.
right. And if you call in the next 5 minutes, you get a double.
2 for 1, baby.
Protest sauce.
Oh,
Protest
shit. Made for any protest you can be at.
Yeah. And it's made by white folks.
Right. That's the
White liberals.
right. Yes. Sponsored by
White tears.
Right. From the makers of White Tears. We bring to you the next thing out.
Yo, that's fire. Yo, we gotta make that.
You know white folks gotta figure out a way to market that.
Right, we gotta put that on a trademark real quick, you know.
I did have one question. Some you said earlier, like you know how you got everything black, right? Everything's black, Dr. Black, store you go to black, everything black. So of course there's black folks out there who's like, this is why I can't deal with us. This is why I gotta go to the white man. You know what I mean? So like, you know, what do you say to those people? Because like, I'm not gonna say what they saying is, you know, they totally off base. Because right, we got our own problems, right?
Yeah.
We can't. Sometimes we got trust issues with ourselves,
okay,
which is understandable,
right?
But like, what do you say to those who just like, listen, I can't get a black dentist. I just can't because I'm there for 4 hours, and my tooth broke for the 3rd time. Like it's just I just can't do this.
I say there needs to be like a database of where we can find these things, like a green book, right? Where we can go to find like a black therapist, right? I have a friend who is a black man, and he went to Howard University. He's a black therapist, and I've sent numerous of my black male friends that he's like, yo, Bree, all these people coming to me. Yeah, because I've never met a black male therapist that can relate to the struggle. You get what I'm saying, right?
See, that's,
so
that
like,
last part is key.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I say that because like, even when I teach this lesson, when we talk about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I always make my students, who would you pick? Right, Martin Luther King or Malcolm X?
That's a timeless question. Yeah,
right,
great question.
There's two ways of dealing with the
right. So and my kids automatically, oh, Martin Luther King, and I have a dream, and cool. We start reading. They start understanding, like, and then as the days go, I see my kids taking their poster and putting it to Malcolm X. So by the end of the week, I'm asking, why are you choosing Malcolm X? They said, well, Miss Brantley, Malcolm X really went through a struggle. His father was killed by the KKK. His mom, had to be placed into a mental institution. He grew up with a white family, but his teacher told him he won't be a lawyer. You get what I'm saying? And the kids is like, well, we relate to that because we understand what he went through. He didn't have it the easy way. Right. Now, granted, Martin Luther King may have had it better off, right? So, son of a preacher man, had access to a college at a young age. You get what I'm saying? So kids looking at it from that perspective, like, we don't have the same access as Martin Luther King would have, but we do understand what Malcolm X went through. And I feel like if we could come up with a space where we could be like, no, this is where your black therapist is. This is where, even black and brown. Let's keep it all the way 100, right? Because Hispanics go through the same struggle as black people. Like, if anything, we holding on to each other. Like, listen.
Yeah, any given day, baby.
Any given day, they're gonna ask us to link up, and we're gonna have to tear shit up.
Now, so there is like, so we had,
sorry,
they're gonna kill me for forgetting their names. Raven and Desi on the show a couple weeks ago, and they told us about right, that's right, and they're social workers, black women, black and Latino women. They have their own social work practice, and they said that a lot of people don't know about Black Girl Therapy. Like, that's a website that they go to, and it's just black therapists, men too. And so, like, that's what we need more of, because we got to know where to go to find us, but then which one of us we can deal with, you know what I mean?
And which one aligns with us, like, and that's been my struggle now. Like, I've been trying to find a black female therapist that can really understand, like, the thoughts of a single black mother now. Like, working a lot, being an educator, running a nonprofit, it's a lot. And then taking care of my mom and my son by myself is a lot. And it's like, I try to put on this facade like everything is okay, right? Or if you need Bree's gonna be there. That's just me. But like, there needs to be a space where I can feel free to vent. You get what I'm saying? And feel vulnerable to say, like, Bree, no, you overthinking it, you fucking up, but this is how you can fix it. You get what I'm saying? And again, like, it's just making sure there's access to it. Like, we just legalized weed in New York City, right? How y'all gonna figure out what the regulations are if y'all ain't never sell weed before? Right? Get your local drug dealer that been selling weed since 9/5. Who knows what, knows the working population, you're gonna get your payment every 2 weeks because they got a job, who's coming up short, and how it, like, we need to be able to have a stake in that place too. 100%. Like, we need to be able to say, like, no, this is how it should go. And I also feel like it needs to be more black and brown dispensaries. Like, I've been out of New York City, and I think I've only been to 2 black-owned dispensaries.
Well, the crazy thing is that, like, I've done some research for a couple of friends of mine. It's like, just the hurdles you gotta jump through just to get into the game that you were already in. Could you imagine having 5 files and now they like, give me $125,000 to get your 6? That make no fucking sense.
At all.
I've been playing this game since I was fucking 11. Now you telling me I can't play no more? I want to pay taxes.
Exactly. For all of that, I could have been paying taxes from the beginning. So. But again, like, going back to it, like, we really need to just set up a space where we even just put out like not even like a job fair, but like a call to action of saying, like, are you a black therapist? Are you a black doctor? Are you a black dentist? Are you a black whatever? We need you here. Get your, like, making it like a sort of like a expo. Right?
Yeah, like an expo.
Like, where people can go and see, like, okay, well, this therapist.
Black con.
Oh, right! Right? Black and brown con, okay? Where we just.
Melanin con.
Melanin. That's that shit right there. Right? And we just everything. And have, like, and sometimes no shade. I love, like, photographers that know our skin tone, right? You would be seeing some of us taking pictures and the skin crazy looking, the edits look crazy, and I'm
like,
just
I came in a pool of Vaseline.
Right,
turn the light down.
Hello.
God damn.
Like,
are all black people that shiny?
Like, or even at these photo shoots, making sure, like, we have black women doing black hair. Because some of these, I be looking at some of these artists like, I know the fuck I know a white girl put that lace front on or that wig. Yeah. Okay, like, but just getting us more involved, and I get it, like, you know, sometimes, I can't deal with them because of time constraint. But teaching people that are running these businesses time management, financial literacy. You get what I'm saying? Teaching people to understand the nature of what customer service is, because black people sometimes think like, I'm supposed to get it right then and there. Right. But
that's
teaching
a struggle for us.
Right. And it is. And you know what? And I get it. It's not wrong, because it's like we ain't been getting shit for a long fucking time. So now that I got access to get it, I want my shit now. Right? Yeah. Just like we waiting for that 40 acres. Yeah. Well, then that means my customer service shouldn't be fucking slow.
And the mule, nigga. And the mule.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't forget the mule.
And the mule, right? And with global climate, global warming, the mule might not even motherfucking make it.
Give me something.
Right. Or the acres might even burn.
A mechanical mule.
Right? But like, again, like saying, like, I think we just need to teach our people and teach them in spaces that they're comfortable in. Like, you like to smoke hookah? Okay, well, there's a black-owned business that sells hookah. Yeah. And having the black-owned hookah people explain to what their policies and procedures are and what's the rationale behind their policies and procedures. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? People need to understand why it's going to take 2 to 3 business days, even if you placed your order right then and there with you. You need to understand that this person is only one person and can only do but so much. So I hope I answered your question.
And several. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nah, we good. So like I did have a question for you, Jarret. Like so, you know, I know that you just started, you know, doing this. It's like freelance stuff you're doing, right? Or is it like, do you have like your own business, or like is it just like, you know, your photography when you do the protest photography?
Well, I was doing them for no reason for months and months. I wasn't freelancing. I was just doing it because I related to the struggle, and I thought I just had something to add to it. So there wasn't really, I didn't start it to take pictures of people and to freelance the work and to sell them for magazines. I don't think I ever reached out to anybody to try to do that. It was just the struggle I was trying to capture. And
have you been contacted, or have people try to commission you, or
people have reached out, and sometimes they come at me a little sideways, so it doesn't make sense. But unfortunately, a lot of my most beautiful work that I think the newspapers and the media outlets don't care about. They want to see violence, and they want to see people.
They want to see what they can sell.
They want to see what they can sell. Exactly. They want to get the tabloids. Right. So that's kind of what people have just reached out about. But the actual like love and fight within the community that I captured, I haven't freelanced any of that. That was just like personal like passion project.
So if somebody come at you with some money, be like, yo, come work for us, you know, and go to all the protests and just be our photographer at the protest, you think that's something you would be interested in? Or
I mean, it would depend who it was, you know, especially definitely have to be like a black-owned business. I think what has also been aware is that people have just seen that they're supporting people and businesses that are not supporting them, which is why probably everyone wants to make the switch to a black-owned business, because we're all founded on these ancient rules of slavery and white supremacy, and we're kind of still trapped in them, but now we're just awakening to what actually the original truth is. So we're trying to make the switch to our whole society.
Speak on it.
This is deep as shit, you know. And it's just like, to be in these spaces with y'all is like it's just dope.
We here with you.
That part. But like being a black woman at the front lines and knowing that there's like men like that's like, no sis, go ahead, stand in that front. We got your back. Like, and it's like there's like this chant where I went to one of these protests and I noticed like there was a lot of white people in the front. And
that's
I'm
the way it be now.
And I'm like just like,
rise to the front.
Right. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
to the front.
You get what I'm saying? And it's cool. I get it. But my thing is this: let us lead this. You get what I'm saying? We don't need no more fucking allies. We need fucking soldiers.
That's right.
Are you ready to get down or not? At this point? And like some of these photographers capture that, and I've seen, and this is no shade to any other activists, but I've seen like certain photographers just pick out certain activists to take their picture, and I'm like, bro, I know I was there in the background. Not saying that I want my picture being taken, too, but it's like it's always, and when I look on some of these photographers, it's not. To me now, it's not as authentic because every time I go on your page, I see the same activists on your page, but I know there's 1,000 other people, so I appreciate Jarret like catching those candid moments, like those real moments.
Yeah, and to be real, like yes, we need the allies, right?
Yes,
but we driving this car,
right?
They because yes, you're white, you're an activist, you're liberal, you're fighting this battle with us. But there's still some privilege in there that you think you might know a little better than us. And it's like, nah, this is our shit. If you're going to be an ally,
play your role.
Sit in the passenger seat or get in the back. You got to take the wheel.
You got to be
radio. Stop. That's your job.
Stop trying to dunk the ball. Just pass me the ball.
Pass me some snacks, bitch.
Okay? That's it. You know what I mean? So that's the hard part, right? Because in reality, we need white folks. Why? Because the people who we trying to change, they ain't gonna listen to us. Yeah. So we need them allies to kind of, translate, that bridge. So, that's the reality. Yep, that's facts. Man, this shit is deep as fuck.
Yeah. I know, right?
Now, I wanted to take a step in a different direction because, Jarret, you were at the Capitol Hill protest. Riot / whatever that was.
Protest.
So
white people being upset.
Yes.
Having a temper tantrum. That's
so what I kind of because we've heard
summit.
Yes. Yes.
No, we did a bombs button.
Right.
So all right. So we've heard multiple stories of this, and you've also seen the government checking the government on what the government did or allowed to do or what didn't do and all that spiel, and you got hardened military people crying on a pedestal saying all this stuff happened to them. What did you see? What did you experience?
Oof. So all right. So I went to that. I honestly wasn't even gonna go to that protest because I think towards the end or whatever that year was, this was the beginning of this year. There was the climate crisis. There was the Black Lives Matter, the Black Trans Lives Matter.
Yes.
There was everything. Just everyone was expressing their frustration, and then the MAGA people started popping up, and I kind of just felt that maybe in the beginning it might be good to see both sides of the argument to understand the situation. So for the first 2 protests, I went to DC for the couple of MAGA protests just to document them. And I was like, this is a little fucked up.
And
in what way?
Just because, I don't know, like it's...
The vibe, right?
Just the vibe. Like it was very...
And they on Freedom Place Road. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, I'm just documenting it. So for the last one, I was like, maybe I shouldn't go. Like, I've already done a few of them, but... This is probably the last one because Trump is about to be out of office. Maybe something will happen. I don't know. So I just went out there last minute. And, I walked into what was a march. I literally walked there as they were marching to the Capitol when I got off the bus. So it was a lot of Americans with their American flags, just talking about how they just wanted to take over the Capitol.
What the fuck?
So now they get to the Capitol, right?
So it was
I saw your photos, which were insane.
It was a mix.
How close did you get?
It looked like you was right there.
He was at one of the doors that they kicked in. What the fuck?
Allegedly he was at the doors. Allegedly he was at the doors that was kicked in.
Nah, if you ain't in, you ain't trespassing, so you good.
But he didn't trespass because he stayed outside.
You had the
guy
lens,
already contacted me.
Really?
I'm not.
He was not. Let me just say he was home with me. He was watching Netflix, and they asked what we watching. And that's it.
Alibi.
Okay.
So sometimes, like being a photographer, you have to be a chameleon. So I kind of felt it would be more natural for me, just from being a person of color, not to show up wearing all black, So I threw an American flag over my head.
There you go, baby.
American bandana over my face.
Yeah.
So everyone looked at me and they immediately thought I was just part of their, part of their crew, part of what they were doing. So they were helping me up ladders, helping me up steps. So it was. I was like, whoa! I was like falling down a ladder. It's like, I got you, brother. They were pulling me up. All right, I guess we're all doing this.
Welcome, allies.
We got one, y'all. We got one.
I need a little darker. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna take a picture.
This is Jarret, guys. This is Jarret.
It was mixed though. There were a lot of people who didn't know what they were doing. They were like, oh, we're just marching. They're like, why are we going to the Capitol? And people were like, we're just going in. They're like, for what? Like, we're just going to go and we'll figure it out later. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, we're going to take it over and we'll think about the plan after.
My press pass covers me for this. But, so I'm just following people up into the entrance of the Capitol.
Allegedly.
I didn't make it inside because there was a heavy, I guess I was in the back door. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that if they broke through that back door, I think there was a one entrance that didn't get broken into just because of how many police were there. But if they actually broke through that door, there would have been 10,000 people in that Capitol, and it would have been a completely different just game.
Situation.
Wow. Completely different situation.
Yeah.
Wow,
so I was trapped in between the police and the Patriots.
Did you wipe that American flag off your face?
I had it there for a while, and that was like the third time I was maced. It was a bad situation.
Yeah.
But
how long were you there for? Like, how long were you stuck?
I was there. It was neck to neck, shoulder to shoulder. I couldn't leave if I wanted to.
All types of COVID being spread.
That's crazy.
I wanted to leave at a certain point, but I couldn't. They were just back to back to back to back people.
Wow.
Damn.
And I was just in the thick of it, and I was like, well, I guess someone just document this, just, suck it up and
Fuck it. Get the footy.
One of those models, just hey, I just don't give a fuck, whatever.
That's right, baby. Fuck it.
All right. Well,
Damn.
I just got to say, I thank both of you for not only being here and sharing your story with us, but also doing the work and dedicating your life and your intelligence and your time
Don't gas me up.
to making, not only exposing what should be exposed, right? Not only educating people who need to be educated,
Okay.
but also making ripples in the waves of reality. So thank you so much for that.
Of course.
Well, so
Yes,
blessed
sir.
to have this conversation with y'all. I
Thank
would love
you.
to have you back.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
please.
Y'all gonna
Go,
be
go
back.
deeper into it. Also, get your thoughts on other things because Jarret, please keep doing what you're doing. Please be safe.
Yeah.
Yes,
do what you're
please.
doing, and please be safe as
Naturally.
well.
Yeah, I mean, we out at the end of the day. We outside. Like we not at this point. Like I ain't my grandmother.
Yo, you gotta remind them.
I am not. Let me make this clear. I am not my grandmother and not my ancestors. They are. I am a survivor of slavery. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I am a granddaughter, great whatever, taken from my land and put in a place that I didn't ask to be here.
Yep.
I didn't ask you to still be out my country. I was minding my fucking business. But now that y'all want to be on some bullshit,
You gotta fuck with Bree.
now that y'all want to fuck with me and fuck with my people, we outside. Like we at the end of the day, we outside. We holding people accountable, and it's being documented. If listen. Photos don't lie, like you said.
That's right.
Videos don't lie. You can't alter that. I don't care how many body cameras you think you're gonna cover. Somebody gonna see it. Somebody ring light gonna see you attacking somebody.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? This is the age of I see you. When they say see, what is it? See something, say something. Now we saying something.
Right. Exactly.
We've been seeing a lot. Now we gonna say something. So
I appreciate everything you say.
I think that's why people are so passionate too, because it's like this is us. These are our ancestors. So it's like now you're fighting a new generation, but you can't do
That's
the same
right.
thing to a new
And
generation.
thankfully, we got technology now, which has changed the entire
because baby,
game.
if Harriet Tubman had technology, it'd have been clipped.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Harriet Tubman would have had the next time like, yo, we outside. We hanging up. We going up the stream. We going up to Harlem. Yup. Right on 132nd. Yup. We right there.
So well, we just gotta.
Sorry.
We're coming to the end of the show, and at the end of the show, we always need to make a recognition to our artist of the week. And so
this week is Unsung Hero.
Oh, sorry. So we're gonna do an unsung hero of the week. And
yes.
So who is our unsung hero?
Our unsung hero this week is Dana Hextall. She is a LCSW, and if you don't know what the fuck that is,
that's a long time.
You just like me, because I didn't know what that was until I wrote this blog. But that's a licensed clinical social worker, and they help out with all things, not just getting food stamps and fucking and taking away your kids, like that other episode was saying. They help out with fucking therapy and getting through your fucking issues and everything. And if you want to learn more about a LCSW, check out the blog on our website. You can check out everything Dana's doing and how it's a great career to get into if you'd want to.
All right, and so we also need to make a shout out and thank our sponsor of the show.
The sponsors, baby, Splatterkiss.
Oh, that's what that check was for.
You know what Splatterkiss is? Yo, shout out to Splatterkiss. You ask me for money. Yeah, you know, man. Yo, I appreciate you, man.
I always give it to you, baby.
Yeah, it's dedicated to Splatterkiss, man. Check out Splatterkiss.com, right? SplatterkissCustoms.com.
No,
Splatterkiss.com.
baby.
Instagram is Splatterkiss Customs.
Yes, Splatter Customs.
Splatter Customs.
It's actually going to be changed back to Splatterkiss because I'm changing my name up. But yo,
come on now, Diddy, with the name change.
So that's why,
check them out, baby. Unique threads that are made for you.
Right.
So check them out, man.
Design with you in mind, baby.
Beautiful. That's a headband. That's a Splatterkiss headband, baby.
I'm rocking it right now, man.
That's a sample.
And everything I make is one of one. I'm inspired by my clients. I collab with all of my clients.
That's right. One on one
and forever. So any shout outs, any advertisements y'all want to do?
How do people find y'all? Instagram, websites?
Get in contact with you. You want to go first, Jarret? Because I've been talking a lot, and I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, one quick. My Instagram is jrobertson.nyc. I mean, I don't really have products to push. From what I do, I sell prints from the images I take. If you want to support me, you could take a print from something. I find it's a nice piece of history. Maybe you find some love, some empowerment. Maybe it gives you a little bit of fight for the day. And I support Splatterkiss though. Yeah. I need some custom.
I got you, bro. I got you on some drip. So while you taking pictures, they gonna be like, "Oh snap! That photographer got the drip." Yo, but fuck y'all though. He trippy, but fuck y'all. What about you, bro?
All right, so. The People's Assembly, y'all can follow me on Instagram. Y'all can follow me on Twitter. It's funny, my Twitter name is so funny, and you're probably gonna hear Vibes Cartel. So my Twitter name is the Teacher, like the Teacher. Right? So that's AH_DI_teacher. You can also check us out. We are always in need of donation support, and donations don't always have to be money. It could be time, whether you can take some pictures. That's a slick way of asking, right? But yeah, like it's right now, it's really me. I have a couple of people. I'm looking forward to building a team. So if you know that you have a resource or a connection or access to something, like reach out to me. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for being here and sharing what you got. And we are out.
Yes, sir.
No. So what they're saying, right? To be clear for our audience, because I actually read that article. I just look at that. But what they said was
dropping gems like we preaching. Don't overstep the line of my freedom of speaking. We cast to the world, put the words in the street and connecting all the minds of the people we reaching.
Yo, jury's tempted to get fenced in and contempting. Teach you motherfuckers a lesson and pressing the issue at hand. Nah, I don't care about objections, suspensions, and cell inspections. Just suppression of black lives is my passion. And love for my fam is everlasting. So stop gassing these asses with glasses. Cause in the end, I leave them where the trash is.
Out. Jury's out. Jury's out. It's not that what we about. We kick it to the masses. Trying to spit the law as we laugh off our asses. Breaking down the latest shit. Carrying crazy lady shit. Glad I ain't got no baby shit. COVID got me crazy, bitch. Damn. And G gon' have to edit this. The jury's out, so you can't even credit us. No statements null and void. Invalid evidence. No, we can't take this to court. Cause you know. Jury's out.
Jury's out. Jury's out. Jury's out.
I like to share knowledge. I like to share knowledge.
Again, it's more than sharing knowledge. It's
what is it? It's
ask any attorney. When the jury's out, there's not a care in the world. We sit and talk shit no matter where the judge be.